Yeah, you're not smart enough to understand how religion is the most powerful organizer of human beings in the last 6,000 years. Then you're not trying. You're not serious about attaining the power to defeat the white supremacist system. And now, white supremacy, it is a religion. And here's another thing. I want to go into what the T. West said about white supremacy versus what I hear others talk about with this term white supremacy. From my perspective, I understand the points that the brother T. West says. Of course, these people are not supreme because they have to keep saying that. They love to hear that. And they want to keep saying that because it boosts their ego. Makes them feel that they are supreme. And you continuously tell them that, and, so they believe it. And they are not supreme. They're pretty weak. And we kind of, when you know the true power of the black nation, and we knew that they were going to be on the planet, so we hid our power and we went to sleep. We are a sleep nation, and that's being proven. That's the reason why they're spending so much money in Egypt and all of these digs and archaeological finds. They're finding us blacks. They're finding original family people. They're finding all of the ancient secrets in the various caves, the pyramids under the water, and the Bermuda Triangle, pyramids in Antarctica. All of these systems, Graham Hancock, all of those guys, you can go listen to that. The face on Mars, Cydonia. Go look at this stuff. This is the power of the black man. Just because we don't know our power, we don't know ourselves. Just because we don't know ourselves does not mean that our enemy does not know us. And they know. They do. They know us. We are being phased into the true knowledge of ourselves because it will blow our minds. Our true power would completely blow our mind. And we are a collective. One. We are a collective one. Of one. A piece of one life. Okay? And that might go over some people's heads, and some people will get that. But we don't have the time at the moment we need to know about those things, but on this level, we have to get past our level. So right now, our current task is to defeat our enemy. And there's certain rules there. And we can defeat them because they're not allowed to genocide us. Otherwise, they would have. They are trying to genocide us as we speak. They've been trying to completely genocide us. At least, openly since 1970, when the demographers first started looking at the numbers of population trends. Openly. And they have not been successful. So they play games with the census and all these things. And so the bottom line is, you're dealing with something, when you're dealing with, white supremacy. It's a system, and it exists. And so I don't have a problem with people saying it and using the term. But it does sometimes come across as you're creating such a high expectation that people just believe that it's impossible. You have to minimize them. And so I understand the thing what T West said. It's whiteism. He just came up with something. He calls them pale faces. He calls them different things like that. And it kind of chops them down a little bit. And I think that's important as well. If you are doing this work in this generation and you want to throw away completely your previous generation who survived the battles, that means you want to die. And the people who survived the battles and still are on the level of developing power and trying to pass that baton over, you gotta learn from them. Even if you think they made some mistakes, because when you destroy or disrespect what they even tried to do, their intention, then you're telling your future to disrespect your intention. Okay? And you're setting up a problem between yourself, because our future generations will look back and say, okay, they tried to do, they're going to look at all of us the same. Just like if you go back, you're going to look at, the African, let's just say you'll look at Martin Luther King, you'll look at Sojourner Truth. It's just a picture in a book, right, for you. So the point is, we gotta kind of level up our understanding on how to deal with people. All of us are important. The task of this generation is not the same task of the last generation. They had to behave differently. They couldn't do, and some of them actually were stronger than us, because they got out there and fought in the streets, thousands of riots. When I wouldn't call them riots, uprisings. This generation is not doing that. They murder us. The cops couldn't do this to our parents, our grandparents. They couldn't do what they're shooting us down in the street like this. Our grandparents formed the Black Panthers, got guns, and walked down there. Come on now. We're not doing that. This generation. You can't diss those people like that. They actually were stronger than this generation, but on one level. But they didn't have the wisdom or the information that we had. But we don't have the wisdom now that they have. You got to have a synthesis, because that's how you collectivize your power. The younger generation has to be able, and the older generation, people have to be able to admit when maybe they made a mistake. Even if you don't like someone, you just say that you didn't like that. Like, for example, I can't say I don't like people, certain people. Well, I would say, I don't know, can't think of anybody that I don't like right now. I could just say I disagree with Dr. Clark. I said that earlier. I think he made a mistake. Doesn't mean I love him. I do love him. And but yeah, we have to synthesize and collectivize the struggle. You don't have a reparations conversation without the work of the old generations. You don't even have that conversation today. That's a stacked. That is that reparations conversation is a conversation that is made possible and easier for us to have because the facts and the figures of the people in the previous generations fighting for reparations, and that's just a fact. You gotta, you can be disappointed. They did a lot of stupid stuff. They took drugs. They did a bunch of stuff. They just pissed away the money. They sold us out. Yeah, they did all that stuff, so that part is there, but that's because they wanted to still hang around white people. Our object, that's a blessing that we can learn that lesson. Our objective should be total independence. Whatever we get, it should, our mindset shouldn't be, oh, let's chill out now. No, we need to section out. We need to section ourselves off. We need to protect ourselves. We need to get the proper protections, and then we need to fight for more resources. That's power. You grow power. It's a tree. It's a forest. Okay, so that's it. That's Super Mike.